Hello and assalamu alaikum. You are doing the Get Set Goal module with me, your mindset coach, Dawood Waid. Let's get going. Let's score a goal today because that's what we really love doing, isn't it? In the first session, we spoke about why the goal is important. We spoke about finding your purpose, the mountain that we ended up with. And we continue the session, what we call the blind spot, and how do we recognize a blind spot? Today, I'll tell you stories of people who actually overcame the blind spot to really become one of the most amazing, celebrated people in the world. So let's not waste any time and start with this lovely girl who I'm sure all of you have seen in your storybooks, in your schools, in your primary education. Yes, her name is Alice. Alice was running behind this little rabbit where she fell down the hole, and here she comes into the wonderland. You know, one of the amazing thing about Alice was as she falls down, she meets a cat, Cheshire cat, and she looks up and she says to the cat, "Where is this road going to?" The cat says, "My dear girl, where do you want to go to?" And Alice says, "I don't care very much." And the cat says, "It does not matter very much where you want to go. When if you don't know where you want to go, how does it matter? It's like going to the airport and saying, 'Give me a ticket.' Obviously, the person, the clerk, the manager would ask you where to. And if you don't know, if you want to go to Nigeria or if you want to go to Netherlands, where it doesn't matter where the ticket is from. This is what a goal will do. This is what a goal should do. A goal gives you direction. A goal gives you a goal where you want to go. Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo, the famous CR7, takes the ball but does not know where the net is. What is he going to do? All his dribbling skills and the bicycle kicks and the speed and the stamina of no use. Well, from one rabbit to another, this is one of my favorite business entrepreneurs. Yes, he is Jack Ma of the famous Alibaba. Where there's AliExpress also, most of us do not know. But yes, Jack Ma. What did Jack Ma teach us? I love one of the quote that Jack Ma said, and this is why he became so beautiful. In his own words, Jack Ma has an autobiography and an entire narration where he says that if you tell me to chase two rabbits in a garden, I will only chase one. Look at the clarity, the focus, the single mindedness. He said, if there are two rabbits and I'm in a garden, I will make sure I'll only chase one. I'll not end up chasing two. This is so true. You know, you end up doing multitasking. You end up doing 10 things and you're not focused and you lose even the one basic task you had to do. This is what goals are all about, and that is why we need goals. Goals give you direction in all areas your personal, career, spiritual, material, contribution, which is social. And that is what this episode is all about. The series will help you frame goals in these areas. The series will help you take you to a personal goal setting, a social goal setting part, a spiritual goal setting part, and hopefully you'll come out stronger, more purposeful. Goals give you a purpose to life. You know, it gives you a reason to get up early in the morning and push yourself to late in the bed. Well, your mobile phone anyway push yourself late in the bed, but early, well, you trust me, when you have goals, you don't need an alarm clock. You might still need to push yourself as some days when it's cold, winter, cozy day, and you know it's like beautiful blanket and AC is still on. I wonder what SDG would do when there's winter and your AC is on. We'll talk about youth MBA and SDG, but goals will put drive and passion in your life. That is why you really need goals. You know, it's like sailing across the Atlantic and you have no compass. And I think all that little rattle I told you in 5 minutes right now was about telling you that goals will not make you aimless, but it will make you purposeful. It will help you sail. You know, if Christopher Columbus had a goal, probably he would not have reached America. Sometimes it's okay to be disorganized, but honestly, Marco Polo, Ibn Battuta, Zheng He, some of the Ferdinand Magellan, some of the better explorers in the world were ones who had a goal, a compass, a sextant, a device that will help them navigate through the rough, choppy oceans and they reach their destinations. Well, it takes me up to a wonderful, wonderful conversation. As I said, the first two sessions are called Blind Spot. Right. So who is this guy? No, I'm not talking about the agents of the Shield. I think most of you know Avenger fans out there. His name is Nick Fury. I'm more interested in the patch he's wearing. You know, this is a disease called amblyopia. Like how myopia is a short term, right? It's amblyopia is called eye blindness. When you close an eye for too long, you can't see with the eye. Sometimes you do it so that the other eye becomes very strong, but I don't recommend that. But this is what blind spot is all about. What do you mean by a blind spot? A blind spot is a weakness, or in real term, blind spot usually is known as traffic intersections where you don't know if the truck or the car is coming in and they are accident prone areas. This is the blind spot I am talking about. When children born in China, they are made to wear those steel iron casted shoes so that the feet don't grow. Perhaps it's for becoming better aerobics, better gymnast, whatever the reason. I think it's very cruel, but this is what happens. Blind spots don't help you grow. What is your blind spot? Because unless and until I remove your weaknesses, unless and until I correct your weaknesses and convert them into strength, and in the later episodes, I'll talk about some of the great heroes, about Dawood, David, and Goliath, and we'll talk about some amazing heroes right now. Some people who looked at the disadvantage and they said, no, hold on, I will become better. What am I talking about? Let's do a small exercise. It's called the blind spot activity, right? Imagine, put your hand across here and then start. You can see both the screens, right? You can see right now two girls out there, right? And you can see both of them. But if I put there and close one eye, one area I cannot see completely. Why? That is my blind spot. Each one of us, every one of us have a blind spot. We all have a weakness. We all have some areas of negativity. It's time to recognize them and move over that. Your handicap, your obstacle, if it could be an impediment in language. Maybe, sir, I cannot speak so fluently. I said, it's okay. Let's focus on it. The best part is you recognize it. So I'm not physically so active. It's okay. Fantastic. When the corona came in and the COVID and the pandemic came in, most of the teachers, their blind spot was technology. They said, we just don't know technology. I said, make technology your friend. Don't be afraid of technology. I did an entire session called Creative Class Zooms because Zoom became the new world. We all became zombies, as I say. Bad joke. But you understand your blind spot and you work towards it. Do that exercise and you'll understand. Who is this amazing, legendary hero, the Greek hero we're talking about? Yes, we are talking about Achilles. You can see the Trojan horse behind, and there's some mesmerizing stories around Achilles. What was Achilles' blind spot? Achilles is supposed to be the unconquerable hero that we're talking about, isn't it? Someone who has never been defeated. Yet he had a blind spot. And yes, you're right. It's a phrase in English now called the Achilles heel. So the heel that Achilles has, and as the legend says, and there are a lot of legends across the world, stories that we grew up saying that Achilles was dipped in the river by his mother, except the with the heel. So that is why the heel, which was not exposed to water, became the weak spot. And that is why anybody's blind spot or weak spot is also called the Achilles heel. And that is how Achilles was killed, by the way. In this legend where he says nobody could kill Achilles until a small arrow stuck on his heel. Right out there, you can see. And unfortunately, he was not wearing good Nike or Caterpillar shoes. He got hurt and he died. You have to recognize your weakness. So go down after this session, write down at least 2 or 3 things that are your impediments, they are your obstacles that you believe you never knew are your weaknesses. And trust me, these weaknesses will help you grow stronger than your strengths. Why? Because the moment I know, okay, I'm not good with technology, I'm not good with English, I'm not good with reading, perhaps I'm not good with my computers, I'm not good with mathematics or science, I'm very good with humanities, I'm very good in speaking, I'm very good in coding, whatever. You know your weaknesses, you work on your strengths. Today, I'll tell you a story of one of the most amazing turnaround that I feel is worth listening to. This is a story about this Hungarian shooter. His name is Karoli Takas. Interesting names that they've got in Hungary. Karoli Takas, before even the shooting began, was touted as the world's best pistol rifle shooter. Right now, this is year 1938. He's in Hungarian. Olympics is next door, and Karoli is already preparing for it. The Olympics are just there. The Tokyo Olympics are in 2 years' time, and one amazing hero. Unfortunately, there is one incident, a sad, unfortunate incident that changes Karoli's life. In the same year, 1938, as they were preparing and there was war going on. Remember, the World War II almost started now, so the whole thing is going on. Karoli was having a hand grenade in his right hand, and unfortunately, it blew up. taking his right hand with him. His dominant hand, the hand he uses to shoot the pistol. And now Karoli is done. There is nothing he can do. What do you do in this situation? Karoli starts practicing with his left hand. 1939, Hungary had these Olympics basic trials, and Karoli comes in to participate there. And imagine, this young man is coming to participate, and people having empathy for him, they have sympathy for him. And Karoli comes and says, I've not come to just have fun, I've come to compete with you. And he starts practicing. But can you imagine, the 1940 Tokyo Olympics are cancelled? This is strange. In fact, this year 2020 was supposed to have Tokyo Olympics. Again, they got cancelled. This is just a small trivia. But what happens now? Karoli cannot participate. He has no right hand with him, and even the Olympics are cancelled. 1944, Karoli is now winning. He's doing good with his left hand, the non-dominant hand. But again, you see the World War II is continuing. It ends in 45. 1944 Olympics are also cancelled. Karoli is just waiting. He is now 38 years old, a very old age to be an Olympian, forget winning a medal, participating, and now he participates 8 years later in London Olympics. And what's the result? Karoli wins a gold medal with his left hand after 8 years. Is that enough? No. 1952 Helsinki Olympics. Where is Helsinki? Yes, you're right. It's Finland. All right. So Karoli is participating and again winning a medal. This is one of the most amazing, inspiring story of a shooter with just one hand. At the age of 42, he wins a medal. What's your dream? What's your blind spot? What's your hindrance? What's your obstacle? Trust me, you can grow. You will grow only if you recognize your strengths and weaknesses. So your blind spot could be any of these. It could be a health. It could be money. A lot of us complain, I don't have money. And I keep telling, what you tell yourself, your mind recognizes, perhaps it's your blind spot. It could be a relationship. It could be something that's not going along, maybe with your friends, maybe with your parents, and we'll help you solve them. It could be just your studies, your peer pressure, the amount of relationship, amount of studies, the amount of health problem you got. We will overcome those blind spots. And I'm promising you, it could be spiritual, it could be your salah, it could be a reading, it could be the health part of it. I promise you, as you do this session, you will overcome your blind spot. And that's a promise on Get Set Goal from Mindset Coach. Inshallah, see you again for the next session. Until then, make sure you have your football right there and your goalpost in your sight. Until then, goodbye, good luck. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.